Welcome in the ring, folks. A very good evening to each and every one of you. Waiting for the theme music to start, folks. Our sister is out. Our sister is out. Share the damn live. Smash that emoji button. Our sister is out tonight, and we're happy about that. I am excited. I am elated. I'm overwhelmed. I'm happy. My sister Melly Mel is out tonight. Is out tonight. Is out tonight. Yeah, prayers were answered. You guys were praying hard. We know that. Prayers were answered. Good to have all of you on the live. Wherever you're joining us from, welcome in the ring. Colvis Bino is here. Vanilla Garnet is here. Anne-Marie is here. Samoa, good to have you. Natasha, Lester, Cheryl, Diane, Michelle. Good to have each and every one of you on the live. I know, your thoughts and your prayers, they were with our sister, Melissa Atwell. And no doubt, I have no doubt, those were felt. All your thoughts and all your prayers, all your well wishes. No doubt, folks. Welcome in the ring. Good to have all of you with us from the many, many places you all are joining us from. We got to fight card set. We got to fight card set. Good to have each and every one of you, like we said, with us this evening in the ring, ready to fight, fired up, and ready to go. Great to have you folks. Share the live. Smash that emoji button as well. Smash it up, good folks. It's Friday. It's Friday, the 28th day of March. Believe it or not, already the month is gone. Melly Mel is out. Melissa Atwell is out. Our sister, she's out. We had Coretta McDonald had a win in the courts today. The challenge that she could not run for president of the Guyana Teachers Union. The challenge she could not sit as the general secretary of the Guyana Teachers Union. She won that case today in the court. Good news all around, folks. Good news all around. We saw coming out from Edinburgh last evening, the T. Muhammad was there. I think there's somewhere else in the quarantine today, visiting, punching back against the vice president, saying, as you behind all of it, corrupt, you behind all of it. But good to have all of you on the live, folks. It's the morning after, it's the evening after, the night before. It is the evening after the night before, and we're still, folks, into concussion road gate. In the US, they got signal gate. You know, that messaging app, this is a little more secure than WhatsApp. I don't know. But they're going through the throes of that. The American government, they put some sensitive information in that app about Yemen, and it's causing a big stir, and they're going through the throes of that. Well, first at this end is concussion road gate. That's what we're going through. How are you folks doing? How are you folks doing there? For those of you who might have missed it, the U.S. Secretary of State, there've been so much over the last 4 years. I almost said Pompeo, and then there's been Blinken, and now we have the current Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. Yep, good to have all of you on the live. And if you missed it, in a very, very candid moment, he thought, or he was told, it was the last administration that built that road. And so he said he almost had a concussion, to and fro that road, the whole team were of the same opinion. We had a rough time on the concussion road. This is Heroes Highway that stretches from Mandela now all the way up to Diamond. I think they're carrying it to Busby and who knows where else. But you and I know we've been enjoying that road. We've been enduring it. Not wanting to complain based on who we are. We're peace-loving people. Not wanting to complain too much about that road. We've been enduring it like the good soldiers we are. Soldiers. Like the good people we are. Fella come, he said, no. Something is wrong here, folks. And he went off from Guyana. He came from Jamaica to Guyana. And then he went on there, folks, to Suriname. Well, just in case you did not know, it was while he was in Suriname, you see. While he was in Suriname, he couldn't take it. He couldn't take it, folks. We got to be so careful. He was upset.
In a lot of these countries.
Yeah, he was upset. Said a couple things. Have you guys been following? Have you folks been following, or you are just looking on? You've been following, or you're just looking on? My God, we gotta be so careful. But well, let me bring you all up to speed. Again, he wasn't the hero's highway. He had a rough ride. We endured every day. Since April 14th, April 14th is National Concussion Road Day. Then is when the road was opened in 2022. April, mark that date on your calendars, April 14th. He and the team had a terrible concussion. He went to the Surinamese and he complained. He said, this road here. Now, we want you to see some of what Irfan Ali said on April 14, 2022, when that road was open, juxtaposed with what the U.S. Secretary of State said. Good folks, juxtaposed with some of that.
That is why tonight, for me, it is not about this road alone. It is about a physical example of the belief in the future of this country.
I just came from Guyana where we had to drive on a road the Chinese built. You were on the trip with us? Yeah. Did you have to go on this road?
Yeah.
Okay, we almost all had concussions because the road was so bad.
Many doubted the vision, but as God would have it, all of us celebrate today the accomplishment.
The road was so bad. It was terrible. They paid these people to build this road, and then they bring their workers. They don't hire you. They bring their workers in to do all the work. And then, or they want you to borrow a bunch of money, and then they hold it over your head. So what I want is for countries to have an alternative to that. What we want is for countries to have an alternative to that.
I asked Omar, Intercab, and the entire engineering team, the entire team from CHPA and the contractors to stand. And I ask all of you to give them a resounding round of applause. Please. P.S. the whole team, please stand. You deserve it. I ask you to give them a resounding round of applause. I stand as your president today, proud of you.
If you're going to build a road, I want you to have a real road. They were better off with a dirt road than the road we were just on. And it's not the fault of the current administration. In Guyana, that was a road that was built before, but they did a terrible job. If you did that job in America, someone would sue you for a lot of money, okay? It was a bad road.
Yeah. Road gate. Concussion road gate. We're in the throes of it, folks. We are in the throes of it. It's a bad road. Love how that emphasis is there. It's a stink and dirty road. That's what he said. Road gate, folks. Road gate. My Lord. And he's standing right next to the fella who built the road. The intellectual artists. Oh, yes. The people who built the road. Road gate. It's a bad road. You heard that. Share the damn life. Smash that emoji button for us. Good folks. The good Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, he says a bad road. He said, hot my belly. Hot my belly is a bad road. We sue you if you build that road by RN. You heard that? That's what he said. We sue these folks if they ever build a road like that. Well, you know the people. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You know them. Happy to make your acquaintance. Happy to make your acquaintance. Folks, today there was a protest. There was a protest outside the Commissioner of Information's office. There was a protest there. We'll come to that in a second. We caught up with former Minister of Infrastructure, and I'm seeing works in my head. It's now Ministry of Works. It was Ministry of Infrastructure. David Patterson. He knows about building roads. He's spoken to them about this issue too. Take a look at some of what he told us.
So I would like to offer an apology to the head of state, to Secretary of State Rubio, on behalf of the people of Guyana. If he had an uncomfortable ride from the airport to Georgetown, and I like to make him know that his ride was uncomfortable to no one else other than the PPP. That road there was done by the PPP, started in 2021, with a brainchild of none other than President Ali. It was done by the Central Housing and Planning. There were about, I would say, 12 to 14 contractors. Of all of those 12 to 14 contractors, probably 2 contractors that actually did anything before. All the contractors that got those projects were PPP's friends and family. $16 billion we paid for that road. That unfortunately gave Secretary of State Rubio a concoction. But what's even worse, what's even worse is that when I asked, I'm sure Rubio asked us come, he was able to make a statement. When he made a comment, the people were even ashamed of what they did. You know what I mean? I saw you did a clip. I saw a clip on your program, you shared, saying that Ali was proud of the work done, and he told people to stand up and be applauded. But Rubio said that if that was America, those guys, same guys that stood up, as well as Ali, would have been sued. And then, of course, now he said that the Chinese did the road. Of course, the Chinese did the road. It's obviously PPP friends and family. I don't know if any of them are Chinese ethnicity, but from what I saw, they were all of one ethnic group. But irrespective of that, the road was badly done. And sadly, Sherrod, this is like a case of the emperor's new clothes. If you can remember that childhood story, when the emperor commissioned the master tailor to make him a suit, and he made him just walking around naked. Every single Guyanese that drives that road knows that it's poorly done road. It knows that of the bumps and the concussions and those things like that. But just like in that fable, it took a little boy to see the emperor walking by and say, the emperor is naked. It took, sadly for us, I mean, of course, whenever we speak, they said we're anti-developmental. So I don't know, and we're opposition. So I don't know if the Secretary of State will be branded anti-opposition, anti-developmental, or a member of the opposition for saying what everybody else knows. That they have never, ever built a successful project. And I say that they're openly, they've never, you name it, Skeldon, the Burbis Bridge, whatever. Marriott, you just name on any transformation development project. The road to Schooner, the young man Bailey who exposes them every single day. The interior, the internal roads that they build, they move them from 2 lanes to 1 lane, and then say to the people, well, you got to be glad for whatever we give you. So it's a typical PVP's thing, but I do think we will be writing to just to the Secretary of State, Rubio, to apologize, as I said, and to inform him that, unlike what he was told, this is a mastermind. It was a project developed by the PPP and executed by the PPP, and he should demand an apology from Ali and his contractors. And if he wants to sue, don't sue the people of Guyana, sue the PPP persons that have benefited from this.
Thank you very much, David.
You're welcome.
There you have it, folks. The man himself, former Minister David Patterson, chairman of the Alliance for Change, making the arguments there. Roadgate, concussion, Roadgate. You know who else we had here today, folks? You know who else we had in the front line? We had the leader of the Alliance for Change himself, and we couldn't help but to ask him too his thoughts on what happened here in the Secretary of State's comment on Concussion Road.
Information is the lifeblood of. It appears as if our president misled the Secretary of State yesterday to cause him to make a statement about the highway, which was not built by the Chinese, which was not built by the previous administration, which I believe the Secretary of State accurately described as concussion highway. But it puts the country in a very dangerous position, because now the United States will probably receive some sort of low-level protest from China, because the Secretary of State went to town in China in relation to that road. And clearly he had been fed information, because the only person he met with was the president, by the president, that indicated that, first of all, the road was built by the Chinese. 2, that it was built during the last regime. Both of those are incorrect. And while the Secretary of State made that statement, the president did not have the decency to say, Mr. Secretary of State, that's not quite correct. And this is about responsibility. And here we have the United States Secretary of State confirming the absolutely poor quality of the construction done by this government, and I believe, if I quote him correctly, he says it was better we had a dam. So you can't get a better commentary on a road produced by this present administration.
There you have it, folks. There you have it. What a national embarrassment. What an international embarrassment this has been for us. Concussion Road. Most people will be sued if they did that in the US of A. Think about that. And think about him shaking Ali's hands and Jagdo's hands. And as David said, think about the folks who Ali said, stand up, take a bow. You've done well here. You have done extremely well here. What a thing. What a thing. That being said, folks, the People's National Congress reform and the leader of the parliamentary opposition had a press conference today and spoke to this issue as well. You know, Abortion Road, Concussion Road, Jumpy Board, Highway. He spoke to it. Take a listen.
Heroes Highway was built by PPP favorite contractors under the PPP and not the coalition government. The opposition notes with great concern an ill-informed comment that the construction of the Heroes Highway was undertaken by the APNU AFC government. It must be stated that this claim is totally untrue. The Heroes Highway was constructed by 12 contractors that are favorites of the PPP regime. We agree with U.S. Secretary of State, Mr. Marco Rubio, that the road was poorly done. In fact, in my budget presentation, this fact was underscored when I described the road as an abortion road and stated clearly that it was of poor quality and a reflection of PPP corruption and incompetence. We sense that it might have been the government of Guyana that provided this false information. Whether it is the government or not, the government must take full responsibility for the construction disaster they call Heroes Highway and correct the misinformation that is in the public domain. The Secretary of State must be made aware that it is not the worst that the regime has built. Schooner to Crane Road is worse.
Leader of the opposition, leader of the PNCR, giving his thoughts there on Roadgate. Concoction. I'm trying to form in my mind. Concoction, same thing. Concussion, same thing. Roadgate. Can you imagine where we are in this country? And just in case you joined us late, Secretary of State Marco Rubio visiting with us went on to Suriname, complained about our roads. Now, this is one of the flagship projects for the PPP, the People's Progressive Party, Mr. Secretary of State. But of course, they lied to him and said it's the last administration that did this road. The man said they almost had a concussion. That's what he said.
That is why tonight, for me, it is not about this road alone. It is about a physical example of the belief in the future of this country.
I just came from Guyana where we had to drive on a road the Chinese built. You were on the trip with us? Yeah. Did you have to go on this road?
Yeah.
Okay, we almost all had concussions because the road was so bad.
Many doubted the vision, but as God would have it, all of us celebrate today the accomplishment.
The road was so bad. It was terrible. They paid these people to build this road, and then they bring their workers. They don't hire you. They bring their workers in to do all the work. And then, or they want you to borrow a bunch of money, and then they hold it over your head. So what I want is for countries to have an alternative to that. What we want is for countries to have an alternative to that.
I asked Omar Intercarb and the entire engineering team, the entire team from CHPA and the contractors to stand. And I ask all of you to give them a resounding round of applause. Please. P.S. the whole team, please stand. You deserve it. I ask you to give them a resounding round of applause. I stand as your president today, proud of you.
If you're going to build a road, I want you to have a real road. They were better off with the dirt road than the road we were just on. And it's not the fault of the current administration. In Guyana, that was a road that was built before, but they did a terrible job. If you did that job in America, someone would sue you for a lot of money, okay? It was a bad road.
We want a real road. We want a real road. Might as well we have a dirt road. Quote to the Secretary of State here. Turning that quote. We want a real road. Kai and Joel and Karen, Trisha, Donna, Diana, Alexis, Linda, juxtaposing there what was said at the opening of that road and what the Secretary of State said. The road was opened on April 22nd. So we have an anniversary coming up, folks. April 22nd. National Concussion Road Day. Juxtaposing what happened at the opening and what the Secretary of State said yesterday as he was in Suriname. Yeah. And he spoke his heart. Unless he was still suffering from that concussion. But we agreed what he said because we've been saying it all along. We've been saying it all along, folks. That being said, I did tell you that there was a protest today of the Commissioner of Information's office because the man getting big money, big salary, big budget. $40 million for this fiscal year. But are we getting money's worth? How are we getting it? Is a house, an office in one, is a home office for $40 million a year. And you're going to hear the salary that he gets. You're going to hear the fantastic salary he received. Share the damn like smash that emoji button for us. But before we hear from some of the folks who were on the ground there today as part of this citizens' protest, I want to take you to the National Assembly. Just last year, we were debating the administration of public data bill. We were debating this bill, the administration of public data. And it was our sister member of parliament, Annette Ferguson, who was questioning the this office of the Commissioner of Information. This is Minister Charles Ramson Jr. This is his father. Friends, family, and favorites. You see? And flatterers questioning the kind of work we're getting out of this office, if any. The kind of reporting, if any, that we've been getting. Are we getting value for dollar? So, Annette in our presentation last year sets the tone for this protest that you're seeing now, because we've been talking about this for a long time. For quite some time now. The Member of Parliament.
I would like to turn our attention to part 2 of the bill, which speaks about the administration of public data. And section 2, I am more concerned, Mr. Speaker, with section 2G of the bill. And this is what section 2G of the bill says. Or clause 2, that's okay, section G. Liaising with the Commissioner of Information on behalf of the public authority. Mr. Speaker, we are fully aware that this particular office, I am concerned that this particular office or the holder in this office is not working in the interest of Guyanese, in the interest of the public. But every year, Mr. Speaker, we have monies appropriated in the budget to pay this particular office holder a monthly salary of over some $1.something million. Mr. Speaker, you would also recall I think, based on my research, the leader of let me just say this, underutilized Commissioner of Information still up to the task. And this was carried in, I think it's the Stabrook News of June the 18th, 2022. Mr. Speaker, these are not my words I am quoting. I am quoting the Honorable Commissioner of Information, of which taxpayers' monies are being used to pay him on a monthly basis. So, in 2013, the Honorable Member, Mr. Ramson Sr., was appointed by then President Donald Ramatar as Guyana's first ever Commissioner of Information as an independent state official. The Commissioner functions as a conduit for the public's access to information, as detailed in 2011 Access to Information Act. And the Act further states, any citizen can submit an application to his office requesting the Commissioner's assistance in retrieving information. The citizen has otherwise been unable to access. Yet he said his office and by extension his services are underutilized. The office is underutilized for more than one reason. One, it is not appropriately located. Justice Ramson Sr. said on Thursday during an interview with Newsroom. Then he further stated the Commissioner works out of his Quant East Street, Georgetown house after he was forced out of his previous office in the compound of the Office of the President by the former APNU AFC administration. Just as I remember, Mr. Speaker, because based on my research, I found that the coalition government gave this very office holder options to rent a building so that he can execute his work. But by choice, he decided that he is going to utilize his private residence as his office. Justice Ramson Sr. related that from 6 hours each weekday, he avails himself to citizens seeking information. Well, Mr. Speaker, I have been passing his street more than one time in a week, and I see no activities. The place always locked, but you got a golden arrowhead flying outside of the office of the house.
There's Member of Parliament Alan Ferguson putting things into context for us. While we were there today, didn't see too much action either. Did not see too much action either in terms of people going or coming. As a matter of fact, the man was very casually dressed in a t-shirt and the window upstairs watching. Like, who's these people here? You know, one of the citizens who was out there today is none other than Attorney at Law Christopher Ram, Attorney at Law Accountant Extraordinaire Christopher Ram, and he spoke with us. Take a look.
The Commissioner of Information that has a statutory duty and obligation to ensure that citizens are provided with information of the state that is not specifically barred under the Act. This Act has been in place since its 2011 Act. The Commissioner of Information, we've had one Commissioner of Information. I think there was a slight interruption during the coalition government, but a single Commissioner of Information. We are not aware that the respective minister has ever published a report now to Parliament as he required to. Now, if the Commissioner of Information has provided the report for the minister should have tabled it. If he hasn't provided, he has to say why. But this commissioner is more concerned with title, call me this and call me that, call me Justice Ramson, and is, quite frankly, in popular parlance, you would have to say he's commissioner of no information. Our intention is to draw attention to the inoperation of the act, to get the president and the government to have the act with all its flaws, as they say it has, to get it operationalized. Whilst doing that, you look at the flaws and you try and improve it. We say we have the Canadian model. Let's follow the 2019 amendments to the Canadian Act and see what we can learn from it. But to leave citizens in an election year, in a year when you hear billions of dollars are issued by way of tax certificates, and we can't see a single certificate, and they have fudged, they've dodged, they've diverted every single thing between the Office of the Commissioner of Information and the government.
Mr. Ram, many persons have attempted to gather information from Mr. Ramson, including myself, and to no avail. What is your response to this?
My view is that we should now take this matter to court. And we have been approached, I have been approached as an attorney at law. This matter will reach the court. He's also quibbling about the intendment of the act. I don't know what, the act is written in plain English. He's just fudging. He doesn't want to do his job. He does nothing really in terms of pursuing the objectives of the act.
In terms of the place where Mr. Ramson's office is, I think this is his house. What are your views on that?
I think it's very bad. I think it's very bad. And if he knows he is not allowed to do the job, a self-respecting person will say, look, if you don't give me the tools, I'm not going to do the job. That's what he should be doing, not sitting there doing nothing and say, oh, I can't get information, or I don't have furniture, I don't have staff. He has $40 million in the 2025 budget. Let him use it. Let him help come out and talk to civil society, say, look guys, we have the same interest, we have the same objective. How can we work together? Not threaten people with legal action and all that foolishness and defamation, as he has done against Mr. Anand Gulsaran.
You said we are out here. Who's we?
We citizens.
So this is organized by who?
It's a few of us citizens. We've made it public, and we have said this concerns every single citizen. So whoever, this is not a political activity. The AFC is clearly prominent. I've seen a couple of people from the APNU or the PNCR. They welcome their citizens because we need to work together. They need information to act as parliamentarians, for their people to act as parliamentarians. We need it to push them, our parliamentarians, to say, look, you need to get this kind of information.
Can you say how long this protest action will go on?
The intention is to have this go on for 4 weeks in this location at this time. And if it doesn't produce results, we will take it to the Office of the President, who has retained portfolio. The Office of the President has retained portfolio responsibility. And so we're hoping that something has got to give. This is not acceptable in a democratic society.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, there you have it, folks. Attorney at Law Christopher Ram taking you through the paces there. Yep. It is unacceptable. $40 million a year budget, $1 million a month, somewhere thereabout. And you can't get information. What are we doing in this country? What are we doing in this country? What is it? What is it? You know? Lead up the lines of change on the same issue.
Information is the lifeblood of any sort of modern country. The Fourth Estate, your profession, is a key guarantor of that. In this contemporary society, access to information about what the government is doing with your money is an absolute right. We need, first of all, to enshrine it in the Constitution. It should be a protected right of every citizen to access information about what the government is doing with their resources. And that right means that literally, as you demand that information, you should get it within a specified time. Having a one-man show, as we do, to manage the access and provide access information through all 10 regions of this country clearly indicates that the government does not recognize that right. And therefore, we believe a commission that is responsible for providing citizens with information when requested, whether online or in person, should be established so that this right can get teeth. This is another case like the Human Rights Commission, which was never established. What they've done here is put one man in charge with no intent to give any real meaning to the right of access to information.
Yeah. You heard it there, folks. You heard it there. We need the information. What y'all doing? Why y'all hiding it? We need the information. $40 million a year, $1 million a month. Think you got staff and all of that, and you can't have the information? What kind of country is this? And you heard Attorney General Christopher Ram as well articulate in an election year, when people have to make choices, you need information. If you're making decisions with inadequate information, you can end up in problems. Concussion Road, for instance. The last administration, for instance, Concussion Road. You could make the wrong choice. You could say the wrong thing too. You know who else we spoke with today? You know who else we spoke with today, good folks? Ring the bell for all of you watching us. You know who else we spoke to today? The publisher of Kaicho News, Mr. TikTok himself, the man himself, Glenn Lal. He got some issues here too. You can't, a man who's managing up papers, running on newspapers, you're dealing in information. You can't get information there. He has his, very nice reporters, very qualified reporters at the Vice President's press conference. You can't get information there. In this country, folks, where can you get information? You can't get it at the Commission of Information. You can't get it at the Vice President. They tell you what they want you to hear. That's what they do. What they want you to hear. Glenn Lal, publisher of Kaicho News.
Was an action should have been anticipated or put into action a long while. Information is key to this country.
Especially in your business.
In my business. We have written the chief asking him for information pertaining to these oil reports, these audit reports. We haven't even got a response of acknowledgement. We have been asking to see these agreements, insurance agreements with ExxonMobil. We have been asking to see the agreements for the gas to energy plant. We have been asking them to see the reports of these field development plan for these oil projects. Nothing, everything has been total in blackout or silence. Where do we go as a nation when you have so much secrecy, everything being done under the table in darkness? How do that help a country? Where is accountability? Where is transparency in all of this?
The other question I wanted to ask you, almost on a weekly basis, in this same need for information, you have your journalists at the Vice President's press conference, and they're denigrated in almost the worst way. He has almost on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, attacked you personally as publisher of Kaicho News. How do you respond to this?
Knowing our Vice President who he is, I really don't pay heed on personally attacking me, but denigrating the reporters speaks volume of who this leader has been and who he still is. He's a man who cannot be trusted. I've said it many times, that not even as in a sentence he can speak without lying. And he knows that me and my company have already sussed him out. We know who he is. We know what he wants and what he's doing to this country and all of us.
Yep. Publisher of Kaicho News, Mr. Glenn Lal, talking to us day to day. I don't pay no heed. Empty vessels, Folks were down there again protesting the Commission of No Information. So we're not getting anything out of him. We're not getting it. You know, we're not getting it. And before we move from there, you know, there have been lots of accusations flying left, right, and center, and that's why you got to hear for yourself. Sometimes, same person we are calling Colonel Shapshaw General say that the Mohammeds with the AFC. You see, this thing here is to lower them in the esteem of the public. You see, it's trying all kinds of things. If you're not afraid, Jack Joe, why are you doing all of this? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You got the people in Queens and so on making a lot of false calls to ICE about people. A vindication today, a full vindication coming. But you're not afraid. Make it make sense. But you see, folks, the aim here is not a dislike for Azudin necessarily, but it's a lust for power and to hold on to power. There's a lust for it. That's what's happening here. So, Mr. Nigel Hughes, leader of the Alliance for Change, was on the picket line today, and he was asked about where coalition talks are. And then he was asked about this link to the Mohammed, if he's talking to them about joining the party and all of that. You'll hear him say it for himself. As a matter of fact, last evening, party. But Mr. Hughes was asked a question today as he was on the front lines. What say you? You know, talk to us about that. Where are you on these issues? Coalition talks first, and then he touches on the Mohammeds.
The parties have exchanged very, very useful and progressive ideas. We continue to be in discussions until the 31st of March, and we continue to be hopeful. The Alliance for Change appreciates and recognizes the importance of this particular moment in history for the country, and the Alliance for Change, and I personally am prepared to step aside from presidential candidature in favor of a consensus third candidate who can unite the opposition in the interest of the country. We cannot afford at this time in our history not to have a united opposition, and we believe that where we can find that consensus candidate who can unite all of us and take this country forward, we cannot afford at this point in time not to be successful.
Thank you. If I'm hearing you correctly, you are prepared to step aside for someone else who will be or is the presidential or could be the presidential candidate for the Alliance for Change. Have you
step aside for a third candidate if we reach a stage of some impasse.
Do you think you might have gotten that impression or that agreement from the PNCR?
No, I have not had any direct communication or contact with the PNCR. As you know, both sides have very, very competent negotiators, and I certainly have not been involved in the negotiations. I've given them a mandate, I've given them a scope, they have a discretion. And until they come back and report to me finally, I am not going to offer any comment.
Are you willing to say who the AFC's consensus candidates might be?
Well, I think there are quite a few people in the society. You can have a country as large as Guyana and not have some personality that can unite.
But Nigel Hughes must have someone. I mean, it's not a cross-examination, but...
No. I think there are people out there. You've got Dr. Campbell, you've got, other people who are out there. There are quite a few people out there.
Thank you. When did you say the next talks with the PNCR?
Well, the talks have been ongoing. I think they're ongoing daily. The 31st is Monday, and hopefully by then we will see the light.
Given that you're willing to step aside to allow for a consensus candidate, what would be then your role? You must have given it thought.
I'm not the important factor here. Guyana is the important factor, and I don't hold any particular request that I play a particular role. I think the important thing is that this country has to be rescued from the PPP.
You're in talk with your party.
Other than that one occasion when Mr. Mohammed and his father consulted me professionally, No, I have not been in contact. I heard the Vice President's comments yesterday about because people from the AFC share Azruddin's post that somehow that indicates the collaboration. Reality is Mr. Azruddin is very popular. He arrives in several parts of the country and he's flocked. That's a fact. And naturally, I think our supporters, PNC supporters, several supporters share his post, as do others share ours. So, no, we have no formal arrangements at this stage.
In those talks, anything come across concerning joining up with any parties?
In the talks?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I have distinctively not participated in the talks because we are confident in our negotiators and we've given them the scope. So I've said to them, unless there's a crisis, you don't need to revert. So until they come back to me, no.
You've also been engaged in listening and grounding the AFC. What are some of the more, complaints that are affecting the citizenry?
The number one complaint is cost of living. Absolutely, cost of living. The second complaint, I think most people support this, is the corruption, the absolute level of corruption. And thirdly, after that, it's the question of vision for the future.
Yeah, there you have it, folks. Not in talks with T. Mohammed, any political union there, not in talks. And he said to us that the talks are ongoing, but the deadline is March 31st. That's Monday. Good, folks. Let's see where it goes. Shereen Hornkirk, see you there. Mandy and Humi and Joy Dodson, Donna Miller, Magnus Barrow. Good to have all of you on the live tonight. Great to have all of you on the live. It was a good day. All around. I advise the PPP, like I advised them last week, Friday, this time. Take the weekend off, get lots of sleep. It wasn't all week. But y'all could try again like y'all try again this week. Try again next week. Take the weekend off, get some rest, drink some porridge, lie down y'all one good foot, and put that foot forward. Your best foot. Put it forward next week. And this was new week. Write it up. Nothing to be salvaged. Everybody quiet, eh? Everybody quiet. Watch the playbook. You got some of the private sector commission, the GCCI, couple of saying the road was a sturdy road. Like James, the Secretary of State, he exaggerated a little bit and so on, hyperbole and so on. We stand by the construction of this road and our hard-working guys. If they put out it yet, watch for the playbook. It coming either from the Private Sector Commission, the manufacturing services, what do you call them? The GSMA, the manufacturing people. It come from GCCI. We stand by our local Guyanese, the contractors and so on. The State Secretary of State, he went on a bad patch. Maybe they carry a little bit on the parapet and the reserve a little bit. But watch, it's coming. And then Jack Joe will speak next week Thursday. Watch, it's going to come from some group. Watch the Private Sector Commission. Watch the GCCI. Watch the GSMA. Watch them. It's going to come. If it's not out already, that's the playbook. Oh, we endorse Heroes Highway. Yeah. And then they can try to use this the 5 servicemen that died. Right? That they dishonor them some more. We can't know any black box, but they can trot them out. Oh, this road built in their honor and so on. Oh, that's part of the tactic, you see. All of that is part of it. It might seem like madness to some, but there's method. It might seem, good folks, like madness to some, but I tell you, there's method. So, the government's scraping for something. Oh, she's overstayed her visa. Wasn't PPP. She overstayed her visa. Oh, and they love her in the coverall. If I was right, buy one and wear it every day in the skin. Our sister, Melissa Atwell, better known as Melly Mel, free woman tonight, she's out. Immigration judge says, we ain't got nothing here, no criminal record. Could I underscore and put it in red? As a matter of fact, I ain't put it in red, put it in green and yellow. Could we bold her on the line and put in green and yellow? Somebody please, somebody. She's out, folks. Oh, y'all see? Y'all see? It wasn't a PPP. It was just an immigration issue. The lady married an American and she's on her way to her citizenship. The judge said she should not even be here. What is she doing here? What is she doing here? She's married to a U.S. citizen and she has her papers in. She's been approved. She just went for the thing to finalize now. What is she doing here? You see, because this is part of the, it's just immigration. This is not a PPP. It's not a PPP. You see, that's what they have us believe. But folks, listen to this. It's just an immigration matter. Believe that. In the U.S. Secretary just tell us it's the opposition bill, Heroes Highway. When they were in government, this is the last government, Bill Heroes Highway. Huh? No, sir. Oh, it's just immigration matter. When the PPP call up the folks in Queens and say, call ICE. Let me see if she legitimate. Let us see if she valid. Call ICE. That is what they do. Tie you up in court proceedings. To go you running back and forth and take your eyes off of them. But I hope she come back strong. And I hope she don't take her eyes off of them. Credible Sources, I see published an op-ed on the Credible Sources Facebook page. Y'all go through it. Let it be your weekend reading. If you like a long stretch of reading one time, let that be your weekend reading, good folks. That op-ed. And you'll see the strategy in the PPP, but it backfire. The same way will be a backfire. And look what happened in Concussion Highway. Concussion Highway. Every time you got an iteration of the PPP governance, it's the same thing. Corruption, nepotism, drugs, you name it. It is there. And then the line to Secretary of State now. Y'all take your line to new levels now. But long time gone, folks. Short time come. Our sister is out. Your prayers, I know you guys have been praying, have been answered. It's Friday night and we got over 4,500 of you on the live. The lady posted her bun. She's going to be out. No doubt, going to rest and recuperate and refire. We got a war to win. We may lose a battle here and there. Tis the season, folks. Tis the season. We might lose a battle here and there. We might lose a soldier here and there. But we'll have the victory. We are confident of the victory. Forward ever, backward never. Jah Rastafari. Happy to have our sister out and sleeping on her own bed tonight. Thanks be to God. And all those who broadcasted what should not have been broadcasted. You who are praying for somebody to be inside. You know when digging hole for people, they said dig two. We're seeing Guyanese parlance, dig two. You should not have been broadcasting, but you're broadcasting bird nest. We can be right here and watch you. The good book said, I saw Satan fall like lightning. We're going to right here see you crying again. Oh, Granger. Oh, sorry for me. We're going to right here. We have better cocks than you crow. The good book on this Friday night, they pray in some church in this country, they're praying. And the good book is, it said, I saw Satan fall like lightning. It's only time for you. Right? Big bald self. That's our time, folks. And that's our program. That's our time. We're going to leave it there. Have a fantastic rest of the weekend, folks. Have a great time. Rest, recuperate. Next week, we will fire in. Especially PPP. Y'all need to rest. Y'all looking tired out here. Take your weekend. Drink your porridge. Nine down your one good foot. And come again. Y'all slow. Analog than digital age. Beat y'all every day. Beat y'all like eels. Probably, of course. As then come say threatening violence now. some nonsense. But probably, of course, politically, of course, we can beat you all like heel. That being said, that's the time. That's a program. Thanks for being with us, Yvonne Lammy, Leon Blair, Alfred Jordan, Blondes, and I see Mandy Cummins is here. All of you folks. All of you folks. Yeah. Oh my God, you have it there. Somebody keep that. Satan falls in 2030. I love it. Lindy, CR Lindy, tech win tonight. CR Lindy, I'll ring the bell one time for you. Go to the front of the class. CR Lindy. Y'all like up the comment there from CR Lindy. Satan falling in 2030. Correct is right. That being said, folks, we're going to leave it there. That's our program. Stay well.